Yeah.
I'm pretty loud though.
I really notice that it's on.
Yeah, you really don't, except for the one week.
It's on.
Yeah, okay.
Is it better?
Yeah.
Oh,
So you don't
okay.
really notice.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
I can start? Okay.
Pre-applause.
Thank you, thank you. In 2005, a $300,000 house would be worth more than $426,000 today. My name is Andrew Conley, and this is how the housing market has changed over the years. Over the past years, the housing market has changed dramatically in price, and there are a few reasons for that, mainly the 2008 financial crisis. The main reason the financial crisis happened was because of investors buying houses while they were cheap, causing them to rise in price. This also made the market price for all houses go up. As soon as the market started to fix itself, another global tragedy struck, the COVID-19 pandemic. This stopped all the progress the housing market was making to change itself and repair it. There are three main reasons why COVID made the market high again. Lack of workers, online work due to quarantine, and lack of materials to businesses being closed due to the quarantine. You might be wondering why online work might affect the market, but in New Hampshire it is a big problem because of our lower taxes and more land, and people from places like Massachusetts and Connecticut who are working online wanted to pay less but make more. When people went to work online, some realized that they don't need to go to their work anymore and stayed online. And with the need to commute gone, they looked for cheaper houses with less taxes. That led them to New Hampshire. With people continuing to purchase houses, the demand will continue to go up, making the prices of those houses rise continually as well. It's creating a major supply and demand problem. The reason most people would probably think prices are so high would be resources, mainly lumber, which is true. But this is due to the lumber companies being closed throughout the whole pandemic and not being able to produce lumber. But this is slowly going back to normal now, with quarantines closing. Over the summer, I got to see firsthand how affecting buildings with materials and labor were major factors in it. I had never really thought about how price was affecting the houses until I was looking at the foundation of a house we were just starting to work on. It was told that this same size house a few years ago would be 2 to 3 times less than what it was today. Being able to physically work on the houses has shown me that a job like this really needs to be learned and continued, even though less and less people of our generation are going into the trades. If this trade were to die out, housing prices would be at the highest they'd ever be because we'd be having a lack of workers and the expense for them would be too much for anybody to handle. I chose to do this as my project because I'm interested in the trades. I am in the CRTC Construction Trades program at Concord High School. I wanted to widen the trades available to me, so I chose to do this as my project. Because of this class, I was already able to understand and see some of the things going on at the job sites I was able to work on. This year in CRTC, we will also be doing carpentry, so I had to step up when we learned to do that this year. This summer project was more than just a project for me, and taught me things I will be able to use for the rest of my life, even in school and out. The company that let me work with them this summer was RCL Construction out of Bradford, New Hampshire, who are frame to finish carpenters. With them, I learned how to insulate, cut, and place siding and soffit, and putting sealant on foundations to make them waterproof. I started off this summer with work that was easier than what I ended with. I started by just cutting pegs to place on screw covers over nail holes in stairs. Then I learned how to cut and glue them in so that they sat flush with the stair. I then learned how to break pins from the foundation and seal it. This was probably the hardest part of my project because breaking concrete and then the rebar after it is no easy task. The sealant was then applied with paintbrushes. It was very, very messy. Finally, I learned how to install siding soffit, how to insulate overhangs in basements, and use scaffolding to make siding go higher up on the houses. With the scaffolding, we couldn't use it when it was windy though, because there was a danger to the person on it, and the materials going up could be damaged, which would cost them more money to make more. These are pictures from my project that I have done over the summer. Having worked on and researched the housing market, I have a new understanding of what it means to be involved in the housing market. This plays a big part in everybody's futures because everybody will need to buy or sell a house at one point in their lives. This is how I found that the housing market has changed over the years. That's it. Whoa, this is a laser pointer?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
See the name of it, that's what you can use it for.
Oh, I should have been using that the whole
You can like
time.
describe each picture.
Do it again, do it again.
That's a house. That's a more finished house. That's the inside of the house.
Does anybody have any questions for Andrew? Did anything funny happen when you were doing side plan when you day with Washington?
He almost got knocked off. His mom didn't like that. No.
The siding didn't move weirdly?
Oh yeah, it was like a helicopter. It was pretty dangerous. Yes.
I have a question. Do you feel like this is something that you'd like to do now, like frame finish carpentry?
Within my life, I'd like to build my own house. And so doing this was very beneficial to me, like learning how to do it from start to finish.
What was the first thing and last thing that you learned how to do?
Oh, the first thing was the pegs. I cut those for a few hours and learned how to install them into the stairs and glue and like make it all sit flush, which I never knew that they used pegs. I always thought it was like the screws went in like the sides, but no, they're like right in the middle.
That was the last thing.
Where was it? This. That was the final like wall of siding I got to work on.
Very fancy.
Yeah. It was really hard to get the scaffolding there. It was like this wide, and it was like 2 different elevation levels. So.
What are those white boxes? Are those like lights?
Uh,
On the right one?
on this?
Yeah.
That's outlets, because once they finish siding, they're putting a porch out there.
Oh.
That's the side that faces the lake?
Yeah, that's the side that faces the lake.
So, okay.
Yeah, yeah. That's the basement. And then that. It's kind of cool too. They have heated basement.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
Fun.
yeah.